Well, hello everyone and welcome to the first tutorial or the introduction of the series learning the concept of printed circuit board engineering with a real-time project. I am your instructor Shubham Panchal, and here you can see that we are doing a simulation of a three-dimensional PCB. But let's just come to the course and see what we have here. Here the course is divided into four parts and in four modules. Each module will have its own contents of videos and the PPTs. Here you can see that the PPTs that will be giving you the complete documentation and the guidance, while the videos will be telling you the complete detail about the thing that we are studying. Okay, first of all, let us see what we are learning in the contents. We are getting to know about the introduction, what is printed circuit board, type of component holding methods such as breadboards, zero PCB and even PCBs. And then we are going to know the process of manufacturing of printed circuit board, and after that we are going to getting started with the software. Well, the CAD software or computer aided design software that we are using is Autodesk Eagle. We are going to do it from the basic, from installing the software to making the schematics, that is the designing part of the PCB. And here you can see that we have designed a PCB and we are getting to know about the PCB physical layout in the development window. Here you can see that we have generated a design of the schematic into the development windows, and we have connected the tracks and give us a diagram, and even you can see that we can get a model of the PCB that is generated. But I think that the view of the PCB is not clear because we cannot get to know about the holes or drill spaces. So here it is the only course that will be dealing with developing of the PCB in the three-dimensional mode. See here, we have the three-dimensional view of the PCB. Here you can see that we can go deep to the ICs and get to know about the crystal oscillator, about the capacitors, the pins, the work strips, the transistors, diodes and even relays. We can get to know about the surface on the both sides. Now let's just imagine that we want to know to get the color of the PCB. So we come here and we select a color net haven. We can get each individual color of the PCB of the individual track, so we can get to know about the PCB. Well, don't worry about the software, we are going to learn it from the very starting to the very end, so that we can develop our own PCB board schematics with the help of the process. I am going to show you something that I am going to rip off the PCB. See here, I can remove the layer one by one, and getting to extract the component, I can get the detail of the each wiring that is going on inside the PCB. Let me pack it. I think that's packed, so I am going to view the PCB in a much deeper way. I think that's it. I can get to know about the connections and how are they connected to the PCB board. Well, this was the 3D part. Will come across the material. Yeah, after the simulation of the board and manufacturing of the board in the physical window, we want to generate the CAM files or the Gerber files. Well, using the CAM processor is a very important and critical thing when we are talking about the industrial manufacturing. So we are going to come to know about the CAM jobs that we can process in the software and get the Gerber files. The Gerber files are the data files that contains the data of the PCB and how the PCB should be made. So we are going to generate the Gerber files with the help of CAM software. And in the last part, we are going to deal with a real-time schematic or real-time project that will be an embedded system board based on Arduino, so that it can be easily programmed in Arduino. But the board will be a high strength board because it will be dealing with 24 watt of power and 12 voltage, while the Arduino can sense only up to 5 volts. So we are going to make our own specified board that will be an embedded system board in the last section, and we are going to view it from the very beginning of the schematic to the prototyping and it even in the physical window, and then after we are going to deal it with the three-dimensional view. Here you can see that the board that is a PTS type board, but this is the embedded system board that we are talking about. So we are going to know complete specification on how can we develop this type of boards easily. Let it come. Okay, this was the board that we are going to develop in the end, and that is an embedded board. And the special thing about this course is that this will be the only course that will be developing or that will be dealing with the three-dimensional view of the PCB and even the simulation of the logical components. Let me show you the content. Here we are going to deal with the simulation of the schematic. This part here, let me show you. This part is schematic, and we are going to do a simulation of the logical component to get the values of the transients or AC/DC voltage across it. Okay, and in the final chapter, before that, we are going to talk about the manufacturing details and how we can get the PCB to manufacture from the local and even from the online manufacturer, so that we can get the PCB at a very cheap price and a very good quality. And the last section, that will be the conclusion. We will be talking about all the section and what we have done, and I will be giving you the link of the books that you can read, so that you can, if you want to go into deep into the PCB manufacturing, you can expand your knowledge and do something good. Okay, this was the introduction of the course, and I hope to see you in the course. If you have any questions, you can ask me, and thanks for watching.